The standings are just a number.
Yep. Take a look at the next band here. Arla, this is an interesting band. Obviously, has a lot of flexibility in the drafts. Could be going for a Roam Arlet or the XP Arlet, but Coach Casey is here. What is he thinking right now? Maybe he wants to ban those gold laners from Eman? Those Harith?
Yeah, I think the Harith certainly will be banned out here by DEWA. They don't want to give Bigatron, especially on blue side, a side that they have been looking very strong in. The Harith, definitely, but the Lo Yi actually will be prioritized first. DEWA trying to bluff out the Harith ban, maybe perhaps trying to force it out from Bigatron, but I think we all know that Bigatron love picking that Harith first pick. They don't really care about it, so DEWA will probably still have to ban it away. This is very risky though, because, oh, wait. I mean, technically for DEWA, they could be eyeing a Mathilda pickup here by leaving the Harith open, trading it over later on against Bigatron.
And you have to remember, there's a potential for a chip to make an appearance as well. A lot of possibilities open up right here. It depends on the final few bans. If Bigatron, they want to go for the Harith, then they might really be forced to ban out that chip if they don't want to deal with all the ganks. But Natan, they know that DEWA loves getting Watt a solid late game carry. Natan has been rising up in popularity. They will be banned away for now.
It's almost like the perfect hero from late game, right? We've seen Skylar popping up on it, and there's literally no magic defense item that can neutralize this Natan. Doesn't matter if you build Radiant Armor or Athena Shield, it's gonna bypass with those penetration from Natan. And in the hands of Watt, this guy is very experienced, and with the help of another experienced player in Drian, I think it's gonna be hard to contain this guy on Natan.
All right, DEWA with the decision. What do they want to go for? Mathilda and Harith left open to go up against each other. Traded in, the chip will be banned out, and now Bigatron will certainly pick up the Harith for themselves, a hero that they still have 100% win rate on, even before the patch dropped. Now with the patch dropping, yeah, this hero is busted.
Wow. So that's DEWA banning away 2 of the global presences. They really want to go back to that tried and true style. It's almost like with the veterans on their team, Watt and Drian, they kind of feel like, okay, we excelled, you know, our heyday was back in the day before all this global nonsense. Let's go back to the good old day, right? Back in my day.
Man, Eman on Harith, man. Just want to remind you guys that Eman currently is the only player in the league that has, you know, crossed over that line of 1k GPM with a Natan, but with another magic-based carry. Surely, this guy's gonna be a force to reckon, but a really early Florin pick here from Cassius.
Oh,
I don't know about that.
not too sure about that with Mathilda being open, especially with the Harith. We've seen that combination from Bigatron Alpha. It was up against Geek Fam as well, and that was the match where they were able to control it from start to finish. 11 minutes in game 1, 10 minutes in game 2, and they go for the Mathilda and the Fredrin. The 2 picks was also utilized by Bigatron in that very same match. They got a 22-minute total overall time against Geek Fam 2-0.
We have a comment here from the man of the hour, the prodigy Super Kenzie. This match is important to secure our spot in the playoffs and a chance to the upper. I like that he emphasized the importance of getting the upper bracket, because you'd only have to play that 1 game before you get into the semifinals. So that's pretty much a top 4 guaranteed if you are top 2 in regular season.
Well, it certainly seemed to be on the way to such a performance, but we'll have to see if DEWA has something in store. So far, Roger can be flexed around. The Florin we've seen very beneficial, very, very strong, especially in a full-on 5v5. And now they have this Faramis as well. That's an insane amount of utility and sustain, but they have to pair this up with good damage output, right? Doesn't matter if you can survive for a long periods of time if you can't trade back the damage, if Bigatron keeps just melting you down. So against a Harith, it's really a good decision, in a way, because Harith doesn't really do DPS the same way. It's still a bit more casty as a hero. So now with that, you have to wonder about the options here. Will they go for a different gold lane with better late game shred? Do they want to go for a fighter in the XP lane, the same way we saw Rebellion do with something like an Edith that can still do some damage in place of this the other main carries, in order to just confuse their opponents on who to focus?
Firstly, for DEWA, looking at their track record, looking at their history, it has never, this Roger has never gone to the jungle. It's always gone to the hands of Watt. So that's already a little bit of a hint for DEWA, but yeah, I mean, there's certainly still a chance for Gary to actually utilize this pick in the jungle. But then you'll have to pick up a very, very strong XP laner. They need a strong trio mid together with a strong XP laner, but it seems like Bigatron Alpha, they are reading that out. They're expecting this Roger to go gold as per the history, the track record of DEWA. Good ban though, the Valentina. They might want to ban the X-Borg next, but a lot of HP bars. X-Borg does very, very well kiting against them. But other than that, maybe they'll leave it out open too. Technically, they can get a lot of value from this X-Borg as well.
Oh man, I kind of already felt bad for the Roger because he has to go up against this durability, this healing, these shields coming in from M1 and also Key, and a lot of CCs from Super Ken. At this point, I think you have to go Gold Roger, I guess, just to get him a Flicker or a Purify. But I agree with the X-Borg ban, Mirko. I think it also got to neutralize. Oh, never mind. So it's going to be a Novaria ban from Cassius. I thought that a Terizla would be a good pick for Bigatron Alpha, so that's why I expect Cassius to ban the X-Borg.
When you're talking about going head-to-head 5v5, we talk about sustain, but we also saw earlier, like you mentioned, Shevin, the Terizla can be very beneficial. It's one of the best frontliners, technically, with good sustain, good amounts of damage, good utility as well to really start the fight and keep your opponents in the fight as well. You know, if Bigatron can use the Guiding Wind and the mobility from the Fredrin and the Harriet right now, so on everyone, to get away from the initial engage, there's a lot of ways for DEWA to really force them to stay in a fight, unless they want to go for something like a neutral objective. In that sense, Bigatron can still go for a strong, high mobility EXP laner and go for that macro play. It's still very much in the pocket of Sorizo, that playstyle.
Interesting. They actually banned the Akai. I assumed that they're gonna go for a Baxia ban, but they probably thought that Akai might be a bit harder to deal with, especially in the objective battle.
It's also a hero that Gary has performed better on compared to the Baxia. And meanwhile, for Bigatron Alpha, they have enough mobility, it seems, to try to counter that Baxia anyways. And DEWA, for now, I think they'd much rather have the Roger as flex, pick up an XP, and they do, but it is not an XP that we expected. This pick, Minsathar, amazing. Up against the three heroes that we have from Bigatron Alpha, all three very reliant on their dashes, especially their first pick, that Harith.
I like the synergy here with Faramis, with the Stampede and also the stunts from Florin. It's a minor, like a lot of people thought Florin is not really a CC hero. At first, it's more of a healing hero, but those stunts and the King's Calling, that could be dangerous.
Very.
Just like that, they secured a way to start a fight, potentially go for pickoffs as well, a frontliner, and also a way to stop Bigatron from getting out. But Bigatron doubled down, they go for the Lilia with a great damage potential, and there comes the X-Borg, the 2 HP bars, the true damage, and AoE. Now it's a bit more even when they want to go for a full-on 5v5. If they were corral around the Faramis a bit too much, they might just end up paying the price right here.
So who's the jungler? Big question. Gary? Will he get his hands on this Roger, or will it be going to Watt?
I don't know why. I want to see them pick an assassin, just to get Roger to the gold lane.
An assassin?
An assassin against this comp?
Against this comp, it's going to be so tough, man. Fredrin, Harith, X-Borg even, and Mathilda as well. I mean, it's a bold move, and maybe the mobility will allow them to really split apart Bigatron. It's a bold move, Shevin, but maybe that is what they need to take out robots.
Hanzo? No. Never mind. So it is! It's a Minsathar gold lane for Watt to try to counter the Harris. So Watt! Hey, Watt has said before that he finds more comfort on the fighters over the marksmen.
Oh, that is a weird statement, I gotta say. From one of the best marksmen in the game?
Yeah. We've seen the Lunox fail as a counter to the Harith. We've seen the Esmeralda fail as the counter to the Harith. We'll see if the Minsathar can get that done.
Here comes a new challenger, ladies and gentlemen. Minsathar in the gold lane. Good AoE, good damage output technically if you go for that full damage itemization. Will he be too vulnerable though? You have to really pay attention in this game to the itemization, especially in that gold lane, man. There's just so much potential.
Looking at the counter index and the lineup rating, it's only like 0.1 and 0.3 difference. So it seems like the AI likes the matchup here. It could go either way, but the one who determines it is going to be the one playing in the Land of Dawn. Will Bigatron will be able to secure this playoff spot for DEWA United? They want to go for glory for that playoff spot. Here we go.
Just like Rebellion earlier, this time DEWA will not hold anything back. First time we've seen it. Roger on the hands of Gary in the jungle, trying to make a statement here up against his former team.
If he can succeed in doing so, it's definitely a tall order. But I guess a lot of the attention now has shifted to the gold lane. How will... Whoa, hang on a minute.
Quick
what
first
was that?
From Gary.
I don't know what happened. I think like it's the sun from Florn, and then he actually burned the Purify. That's a huge W early in this game. Getting the gold to Gary with a kill, that is huge.
Even with the Purify, he wasn't able to get out of there, showing again the burst potential that DEWA has. Now fighting for the lit though, Supercan still showing again that he has the superior clear and the superior retribution still. That is something that Gary has to keep in mind. But we have to see what Drin can do on the Florian here, because it's going to be a very annoying matchup here. The Florian against the Matilda.
Speaking of annoying, Moreno just gives out so much potential. Meanwhile, in the top lane though,
It's a 1v1. Iman might be solo kill, gets a shielding, and Watt is forced to flicker out. Iman already using the Purify and now has to recall again. Supercan getting all the maneuvers. Rian forced to flicker here. And that gold lead that they got from Gary early with that first blood so far. Hasn't played it. Oh, gets retreated. That's a hook back, but Supercan will gladly take that hook and will get out with the guiding win.
How easy it is playing with the Matilda, man. Just get the last hit and also get away. Eman, meanwhile, oh no! He spot out!
But guiding win is there. He tried to bait in the
Once again.
Lycan pounce. But Iman will still be able to recall safely under his turret.
That's the guiding win pressure, man. And that's the trio mid we talked about for Bigatron. If they start getting to get rolling, it's going to be so difficult. The fact that Watt was able to just get a very close 1v1, but then just gets punished by the swiftness of the rotations, and now immediately going for the turtle.
Look at Moreno with the zone, placing the glooms very, very well. Supercan already placing, or resetting rather, the turtle. Dixon, penalty zone on the Cerezo, losing that Faraga armor, but now it's going to be Supercan who secures it very easily. The retry used up by Gary towards Cerezo, I believe. DEWA United now are looking for their own purple buff, but without that retry, Supercan is aware, wants to go for the contest, goes in and taunts up the buff, gets chunked quite low, brought back by the Shadow Stampede. The full reset on the purple buff as Moreno clears out that mid lane. Dixon rotating again. No penalty zone right now. Supercan tries to get it done with the appraisers. Ratty gets it, but now he's going to be caught just a bit. But the guiding win is right there to save Supercan. And look at the burn down from Cerezo. The last insanity. No flicker. No, he does. He actually still has that flicker. Gets out to safety.
At this point, just ban the Matilda, man. It's just too much utility, too much healing. And that is why Supercan has been able to go so aggressively in this early of a game.
And that's also the reason why the aggression from DEWA just hasn't been working. Everything's stifled so far. Looking at Drian and Keys with the agility and the Wilderness Blessing, they're trying to match up to the roaming position of Bigatron, but they're always one step behind. Not because they're not fast enough to rotate, it's because they're just not aggressive enough. They kind of walk up the same way a Fredrin can, like a Matilda can. So they have to walk a bit more carefully around, whereas Bigatron can just brute force their path through the jungle, through all these tight spots, and they know that they have enough tankiness and sustainability as Supercan goes in for Gary.
1v1, Supercan out-retreeing Gary, who's a level behind. Now it's going to be Gary all out, collapse up at the Circling Eagle, and Moreno takes the kill up. Hayes, a very late Netherrealm, not able to save Gary from his demise.
Very unfortunate, but what's also unfortunate is the talent prediction. It's only Ranger Amas favoring DEWA United, but
Is that the G curse?
is this a Mirror Curse?
I don't know. His name is not Mirko.
No, like you predicted 2-0.
I don't know. Okay, Purify. He gets out and he dodges away from the stun. Now recalls in front of DEWA. The counter not really countering the Hereth here, getting out executed. Meanwhile, DEWA have sent so many of their members up top. This purple buff will just be taken by Supercan for free, not even using the retribution.
Top lane though.
Going for the turtle. Now is Iman is still able to escape for a bit. And there you go. That should be the kill. Watt picks a kill up, a trade up top in the gold lane.
It's Small victory here from DEWA United, getting that carry down to the ground. Oh, and to look at the damage, I feel like he already completed an item here. A War X probably, that's why the damage is already very high towards Dixon.
Well, the X does good damage by default the longer you stay in the flames, but the War X is indeed just completed, and Dixon going for most likely a Dominance Ice. He is going straight for tankiness without going for any additional spell lifesteal. So for now, he won't really be able to 1v1 and win in pressure against Sorizo, which is even more bad news, because then now Sorizo can be actively just scouting or even invading into the jungle of DEWA to try and get more value. And Super Ken, knowing that he has a supporter, goes with the Oracle to really boost his healing. And in these prolonged fights, it's going to be harder and harder for Gary to find anything. And considering the fact that he is being left to his own devices in the jungle, this is going from bad to worse for him.
The stun over. Super Ken is holding it down, and both teams back away.
Okay. 4v4, they sense the danger, Bigatron Alpha. Right now, this is a big game for both of these teams. Will they secure the playoffs, Bigatron, or Gary in trouble?
In no man's land, Gary with the Lycan form jumping out, and now Super Ken walks up. The Lycan pounds only onto Moreno, who still has the black shoes. The Rogers burnt down. That's a flicker with the King's Calling. But look at him on with a Purify, and now there's on 4 still. Gonna be taken down by K's. Good Ghost Bursters and good commitment from DEWA. Jungle for gold.
Well, at least there's a plan for DEWA United. They knew that Eman is just so vulnerable in the gold lane. And if they pour all the resources towards the gold lane, Watt is going to have a good time killing this one off for Eman.
Well, again, Deceptive has a lot of damage built in, especially with the Shield Assault. He can actually hit all 5 members at the same time. I believe he flickered with the King's Calling in that play to ensure that even though Eman preemptively purified, they can still catch him off. But now again, once again, Bigatron goes in immediately like it's just another Tuesday.
Oh my god.
The Fraser's Wrath used up as well. And now the Gloom's coming down, the Circling Eagle onto Gary. Lycan bounce over it as a knock-up to Kaze, who still has another realm and pops it just in time. Super Ken getting out with the help of the Guiding Wind, but now it's going to be Moreno who gets chained down by the penalty zone. 2-man taunt as Moreno goes in and deep inside enemy territory while the King's Calling, but Super Ken is just standing there. It's not the King's Calling, it's the Appraiser's Calling as he gets the second Appraiser's Wrath in this team fight. All the way in the bottom lane, or actually in the mid lane, Eman got a free tier 1.
The robot is just as strategic as ever, just going by the procedure here, not straying away from their path to victory. Just the composure, even though the King's Calling was huge from Watt, there's no sense of urgency to get away. They know their limits, and they're playing with it.
They're also a lot more ahead, and there's not a lot of damage in the hands of Watt just yet. Goes again for the spear, but look at how vulnerable he is, man. He is not a frontliner, you have to remember. He only right now has the Corrosion Sight and the Demon Hunter
4
Sword.
levels.
So finally, a bit of a power spike in the gold lane, but it's not nearly enough to really deal with Bigatron right now at a 6k gold advantage.
Oh man.
The jungle diff XP was 4 earlier, now it's back to 3. Super Ken wants to get more here. Watt doesn't pop the King's Calling. Appraiser's Wrath coming down as Gary is forced back. Meanwhile, Sorizo, you think on the Paquito he'll do this. Even on the X-Borg he'll do this, taking turrets in the side. They can't even enter their own jungle.
Just turret falling down left and right, and looks like the mid turret is not gonna hold out for much long as they do not have any resources to defend this. They are playing so good right now, Bigatron. They want to secure this playoff spot.
4 levels ahead, Ken.
Yep, that's just Ken things. Well, usually Eman is the one dominating in the gold lane and ASP, but no, this time around it's Super Ken's game, dominating and reading Gary's movement, just punishing every overextension in the mid game.
It's just a very painful combination, but oh, look at that. Key threatening the engage just like that. Everyone backs away.
What's up top? They've already dealt with that base turret splash damage. Watt's looking for something, but again, just gets chunked by Moreno under his own turret.
A Circling Eagle traded for a Flicker, and Key just gets out just fine. And now the Lord is coming up in 15 seconds.
Look at Gary though, very interesting approach here. He's not helping to clear the waves, he is just farming in the jungle. He might potentially collapse for a flank right here, but no, he doesn't seem confident enough to attempt that. He will be not recalling, he seems to be doubting his movements, man. It's not decisive at all. He is going for a flank.
Uh-oh.
Well, it's Chorizo. I don't even know if they can actually deal with him. Chorizo has the last Insanity, has the Flicker, and all this time,
no.
bot now, 3v5, last Insanity. Not gonna connect here. Key just flies by and buys enough time for Super Ken to take the Lord earlier with Eman, and now he takes it with no retry. By the way, Bigatron's Eman, Thunderbelt on that Harith.
Oh, that gotta feel so bad. You have 2-man advantage and you are forced to back away knowing the threat from Moreno and Chorizo is just too much to deal with. Even with the durability from Drian and also Case. We have a game fact here by the new app GoPay. This is the debut of Mincetar in the gold lane in MPL Indonesia Season 13 after it was previously used by Benny Cutie.
Circling Eagle just to use to zone them away right now. Superkin gets hooked, but he just dashes out to safety. Appraiser's Wrath taking a whole lot of HP from Kaze, and one is forced to use a desperate King's Calling in the back just to survive.
Whoa.
Another round coming down as well. Moreno gonna pop into Black Shoes as now they go for an all-out fight inside of the base. Last Insanity used up, and Bigatron Alpha will claim all 3 base turrets. The last one just through minions alone. Still getting burned down. Chorizo putting some damage and pressure down. Watt getting burned as well. Gary now caught on the Zaman Force, forced to use the Lycan Pounce offensively. 11 minutes in this game, and Dixon will get shredded down by Yaman. Lycan Pounce offensively now to try to escape, but Drian in the back cannot heal them. Not enough. Case gets burned. Drian as well. Watt stabbed through by Super Ken as the guiding wind brings him back all the way. Chorizo even diving under the turret. The Stampede brings him back, but the shielding from the guiding wind is a bit too much for DEWA to handle. Harith and Mathilda let go, and Bigatron